Holy, what the hell did I just watch, Batman? Oh boy, Tiki here, and
BlueDragonFive.
yes, and we're going through all the episodes of Batman the Animated Series in chronological order because, of course, I am the newbie to Batman the Animated Series who has not watched any of these episodes, and Dragon, of course, here is the expert. And Dragon, you're going to have to be my Ra's al Ghul on this thing big time, man. I need an adult. I need an adult.
Yeah, you see, folks, long ago I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham in a way.
Yes, and tonight we're talking about Prophecy of Doom. Oh, boy. So, Dragon, not since the long olden days of, like, about, I don't know, roughly like 3-4 weeks ago when I watched Batman and Harley Quinn have I been so embarrassed, just personally embarrassed, to watch something related to Batman the Animated Series. Oh, wow. You warned me. And I was not prepared for this, Dragon. I was not prepared for this.
See, Tiki, I knew when we were starting to do this show, we'd hit a couple episodes like these. And again, it's a rarity because this show is known for being very consistently good. But then you have a few kind of like potholes in the grand road that is Batman.
Oh,
now, to be fair, and every show has that sort of thing. Even like
Steven Universe has like the Uncle Grandpa episode.
Yeah, you got that. Of course, you have your even a few episodes of other great shows like Avatar.
Classic example is Arnold versus Iggy.
Exactly. Again, even some of the finest shows, folks. Not every it's like a whole season's worth of episodes. Not everyone can be gold.
No,
sometimes
but this
silver.
Is,
sometimes
this is like the opposite of gold.
Yeah, this is it's shiny dirt. Maybe copper. Copper. I'm gonna say copper because it sounds like it's copper.
All right, that sounds.
It's scuffed up copper. It's scuffed up copper. There we go.
Dragon, the best thing I can say about this episode is there's like 2 or 3 stylistic moments where I'm like, ooh, that's neat.
I'm with you there. That's it, Tig. I mean, that and there's like I see missed opportunity everywhere I look in this episode. See, yeah, they could have done something there, but we didn't. Yeah.
All right, so we start with the latest
background.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So there's not a lot because it's kind of so this is
very
much
like
one
connective tissue that you have to go over.
Yes. So let's see. Yes. So let's go over the crew working this. The director is Frank Parr, and by the way, Frank Parr, he's kind of he's one of the one-shot directors of Batman. He's a really good director. You and I know him from the work he's done on things outside of DC. He has directed the thing that kind of made me fall in love with Deadpool, Hulk versus Wolverine. That was Frank Parr.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, Frank. I have a lot to Frank Parr.
Yeah.
Everyone has to start somewhere. And again, he's done better episodes too. I'm just saying,
look at David Fincher. He started with Alien 3, so.
So yeah, Frank Parr, always really solid director. He did both the Hulk versus Wolverine and the Hulk versus Thor. That was all Frank Parr.
Nice.
And this episode is written by Dennis Marks, and notably, kind of our bad penny that keeps showing up.
Yep.
I would hope lovely Sean Catherine Derrick. So Sean Catherine Derrick, she has the worst luck. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't want to be mean to Sean Catherine Derrick because again, she just had kind of a different. The idea is she didn't last past the first season. I think it's because she had a different vision for the show. She had kind of out there ideas, and at times she could play ball real well. I feel
like she wanted to make a Ted Turner show.
That's Tiki. I think that's the perfect analogy. I'm so glad you made that comparison. Yes. Now we have again. To be fair, the reason I don't want to be is fully kind of one sided against her. I mean, she did work on things like Nothing to Fear, the first Scarecrow episode, which is a great episode.
That was good, yes.
She was kind of in there during the early kind of nurturing of the series, but at the same time, again, she wanted to make a Ted Turner show. And it shows, she usually has like the PSA messages, like the environmental message or kind of like the agenda. In this case, less agenda. Well, it's an agenda, but it's a really, really 1%er agenda.
God.
We'll get there. It's kind of a Madoff-y agenda, I guess. But let's see. So this episode, of course, Frank Parr, the great one-shot director, Sean, Catherine, Derek, unfortunately, never a great sign. Never a great sign. I think that's being honest. Let's see. So, I guess three brief points to hit. So, one, this episode had Aaron Kincaid doing the voice of the henchman, Lucas. Just the big guy in the turtleneck. Aaron Kincaid went on to voice Killer Crocs. This is how they first met him. Okay. That's nice. He's a good actor. ACOM, I hope I'm saying that right. It's either ACOM or ACOM. They did the animation for this, and I got to tell you, out of all the animation studios for Batman, again, this is kind of like the Sean, Catherine, Derek of the animation studios, because ACOM, they're low on the totem pole. Let's just say if they're not the very bottom, one below the very bottom of kind of the animation studios that didn't turn out the best work on Batman the Animated Series.
Like I said, there are one or two stylistic moments in here that are pretty neat.
And I do think that's a testament to show the caliber, even them not being the strongest of the animation studio. They still turned in some good stuff. It just, you need good story to comment that. And basically, this episode seems to be, they kind of knew while they were making this one, they weren't going to put the elbow grease into this. And Bruce Timm, he said in the third act of this episode, he's still not happy with. The third act.
I can't imagine why.
And you have to imagine that it kind of shows that, what they kind of knew at a certain point. Yeah, this isn't what we hoped this episode would be. We're just kind of sidled with this one. We have to fill the number of episodes this season. That's kind of the vibe I got a sense of. And the last thing I'm going to hit with this, last point, this is all the missed opportunities they could have had with this episode. There is a character in Batman, Tiki, Deacon Blackfire. Deacon Blackfire is essentially a kind of a religious cult leader, mainly a cult leader. He was in this famous story from Batman, this real gritty story, I want to say in the 80s, written by Jim Starlin. Jim Starlin, the writer of the Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay.
And Jim Starlin was a good story. It was a really dark thing. It actually starred, it was one of the rare stories that features Jason Todd as Robin. It's not just marking on the fact that Jason Todd died. It was Jason Todd actually as Robin in this story. And the idea is Batman was tortured by a cult, by Deacon Blackfire's cult for days. And, it's like Gotham turned into a deranged war zone. Robin, Jason Todd had to save Batman, kind of get him out of his funk. It was a really twisted story. So the idea of Deacon Blackfire, you could have done some really interesting cult stuff with Deacon Blackfire, but bear in mind, of course, Saturday morning kids cartoon. Obviously, they weren't going to go that far with it. But the point is, a path was there. They could have done something about cults instead of the danger the cults pose to rich people, to the rich 1%.
Oh boy, yeah. What the flying fuck.
But you see what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be frank, but wow.
But you see what I'm saying there, right? There was potential with them kind of tackling the adult
subject
matter.
Dragon, listen. There is nobody more fascinated about cults than I am, all right? Cults are an endlessly fascinating subject matter to me. But oh god, just the whole fact that this episode's moral is rich people can potentially get sucked into cults, and those poor rich people, it's so disconnected, Dragon. It's just ridiculous.
So I guess with that said, let's just, again, potential that was not taken. So let's just jump right into this.
Okay, so we start with an animated Titanic.
Yeah, casino boats.
We literally start with an animated type. If that doesn't tell you how the quality of this episode, then nothing will. It's animated Titanic.
To be fair, the one thing it has over Titanic is it's a much shorter runtime to get to the
yes, I'll give you that. And there's no singing animals or rapping dogs or anything like that.
True. It's
actually, to tell you the truth, this is actually what a classy animated Titanic would look like, probably. In the Batman animated series. It's pretty straight for to its credit.
Look, animated or live action Titanic, this is the only way you entice me of seeing just a Titanic movie after the ones that have just been any of the Titanic movies we've had. Period. Just period. Yeah, because again, I still don't like that the '97 Titanic movie.
I've never sat through it.
I have, and I tell you again, the only half the movie, just when the boat's sinking, that's when things get interesting. Right. That half, that's a movie. Other half is okay, I'm not poo-pooing the romance of all. I'm just saying, guys, we're taking forever with this. Come on. Anyway, my point is just if you tell me Bruce Timm and the gang's working on a Titanic movie, okay, I'll give that a shot. Believe me, I'm there.
I said, you take the rough animation of this, make that a concept for a Titanic movie, and you could have something.
Especially if you say Paul Dini, or you say Paul Dini or someone's so someone from that crew is working on this. Like, okay, I'm there.
We're
I'm
gonna
there. I'm
take back animated Titanic, man. We're gonna. Okay, we're spending way too much.
Anyway,
time on
believe me, seriously, this episode's gonna go by really fast, so it's fine. So let's see. So the point is, we're on this casino boat. And that's literally what this is. Basically, a casino for the highfalutin. And that's then we revealed there's a hidden bomb in the engine room that goes off. There's evacuation. No victim. No one perished during this, by the way. So that's kind of it's a happier Titanic. So yes, there's an evacuation that's going on. All the people on the casino boat, they're as the ship's taking on water and it's sinking.
And to tell you the truth, I actually do think the segment's animated pretty well for what.
Yeah, the reveal shot's a little clunky though, but it's it's good. How it's sinking and all. That's not bad. So let's see. We have a cool moon transition. We go up to the moon.
That's what I'm saying. The moon stuff is all really nice. Yeah.
So let's see. So then we have, and you know me, Tiki. I love this. Again, I appreciate years later a lot more than I did then. But at the same time, I love getting to spend time with Bruce Wayne. No, it's not all Batman.
Sure.
I appreciate here's the thing. I appreciate just overall with the Bruce Wayne stuff. I appreciate what they're trying to do with Bruce Wayne. They're playing with the irony that Kevin Conroy brought to Bruce Wayne this episode. The problem is they go too far with it.
Okay.
And anyway, so we have Bruce Wayne at dinner with some rich friends. The idea is like this is like a banker who is a business associate of Wayne Enterprise, and he's just kind of schmoozing him. He's like, it's a guy who says, "Oh, Bruce Wayne's my friend."
Stereotypical like Texas banker or something like that.
Yeah, Ethan Clark. Very much just kind of the guy's like probably has like a hunting cabin we're not seeing.
Exactly. Right.
This is I got a sense as the guy says, "Oh yes, Bruce Wayne's my friend. Yes, we go to dinner all the time." Basically, just Bruce is going along with it because he donates to the Wayne charity, I guess. Anyway, so we have Ethan the Clark and his daughter, who was voiced by Heather Locklear, by the way.
Oh, okay, nice.
They were able to get a lot of good celebrities back in the day on this.
Okay, Dragon, this is going to be a running joke, so I'm just going to get it out of my system right now and never mention it again. Okay. Every time they mention the name Lisa, I just want to think, "You are tearing me apart, Lisa." All right? That's the one time I'll mention it, okay? I just need to get that out of my system, okay?
All right, so essentially...
one time I'll bring it up.
So essentially, Ethan Clark here is telling Bruce about this psychic that, the psychic he's been going to who had a prophecy that saved his life. He went to his psychic, and his psychic told him, "Hey, don't go on this boat. Some bad's going to happen. I feel it in the stars," essentially. And he didn't go, so he feels so indebted and grateful to the psychic who warned him not to go on the trip. Again, it's very...
You've watched The Leftovers, right?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the few things... The Leftovers is one of my favorite shows of all time, but one of my few things that The Leftovers really didn't get right was the Holy Wayne storyline, which was a lot like this. But my God, Dragon, this makes me yearn for the days of the Holy Wayne stuff on The Leftovers. Because that was at least handled with some dignity.
So let's see. So basically now, he's not just touting off this one occurrence. He's touting off the fact that he has gone to this man who we learned is Nostromos. That's his name. So we learned that he's gone to Nostromos, and Nostromos has not only warned him about the cruise, he's warned him about various other kind of dangerous stuff that has befallen other kind of rich, highfalutin affairs, like his not only this cruise, but his mine, his oil, stuff in an oil field. Basically, disasters have been happening at all these locations. Basically, it's pretty spelled out to the audience. Again, not to the kids watching, to the smart adults realizing, okay, well, obviously the psychic's in on it. Obviously, I mean, every time the psychic says, "Hey, don't go there," it's bad stuff has befallen these other.
Right.
Yeah. So Lisa is smartly skeptical. Lisa is skeptical, doesn't she's kind of reading the script a few pages ahead, realizing this. Let's see. Trying to. Yep. Anyway, basically, they reveal his name is Nostromos. Bruce has a couple good lines. I want to point that out. I mean, Bruce has a couple kind of funny lines here where he's saying, "Oh, he make a heck of a stockbroker." And this to me is like when in the beginning, I like it when Bruce is kind of making some of these quips, but I think when he's kind of going undercover, it's too ridiculous.
Okay, that's interesting because I'll admit some of the undercover stuff I actually kind of liked. So we'll get into that.
So let's see. So speaking of which, we can set that up here where. Clark, he invites Bruce to go to a party that he's holding in Nostromos' honor for saving his life. And again, I like Bruce Wayne's witty remarks, but we really have to. I'm sorry. I mean, I like the remarks. He has this great line about, well, I guess I'll have to check my horoscope first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. So a classic move where Bruce is walking Lisa to her car, and they're having a kind of a conversation on the way. Kind of a slow bit in the episode, kind of really expository, I gotta say, but you know.
There's a lot of exposition, like a lot of clunky exposition in the episode, just in general. That's definitely a problem.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's see. So basically, she's voicing concern and suspicion of Nostromos. She mentions, and this to me is the most clunky exposition.
A secret brotherhood.
Yeah,
ooh, secret.
Bruce's question is secret brotherhood. And then we have a really weak transition to Nostromos, where basically she has a Bruce put like a brochure in his pocket or something, and we zoom in on it, then reveal, hey, it's Nostromos. Like, come on. God. So,
oh boy,
where to start with Nostromos?
Oh god, Nostromos is like, oh, this guy is just the worst.
Yeah, the most forgettable bad.
Dress Dragon. I have no idea who does his voice, but his voice is just so irritating.
Yeah, it's basically.
I don't know what it is about it exactly. It's just it's not intimidating in the slightest. You know what I mean? It's like it's whiny, if anything else.
I'll tell you what it reminds me of, but it's like an ineffectual version of it. Obviously, this is not intentional. I'm just pulling from Hey Arnold on this. Okay. Do you remember the in the Down Tennis Fruits episode?
Yeah.
You remember the psychic they went to put like the contacts in his eyes. Is there someone you've wronged?
Right.
Hey, where's my 750? That guy. It sounds like sounds like the performance is like that guy putting on kind of this theatrical psychic thing, and then he just sounds like it's a con man outside when someone leaves. Where's my 750? But yeah, that's an obscure pull. I'm sorry. Anyway,
I mean, he's just like the least threatening bad guy.
Yeah, easily the most forgettable villain we have. I mean, even compared to the guy from the POV episode. Remember the POV episode with Bullock, Montoya, and Wilkes? Or basically, we don't even see that guy in the shadows, but he was more memorable than this guy.
I mean, like compared to like the clunkers we've had, like Red Claw and Boss Biggs, like this guy is worse.
He's no Boss Biggs, that's for sure.
Oh no, he's no Boss Biggs. No, absolutely.
And Boss Biggs was evil. Okay, let's see. So, I'm just trying to. Guys, it's so ridiculous. So let's see. So he basically.
Can I tell you the Bruce Wayne part that I actually like?
So I'm liking this with Bruce Wayne. This is funny. So
he's basically like asking the crowd, like, "Oh, I don't really understand this," and one of the women like explains it to him in a really convoluted way. And Dragon, this is like one of the few times I actually had some joy watching the episode. I love Conroy's like, "Oh. Okay." I don't know.
So that's the thing. It's
and I gotta say, just in general, just to shine some positivity here, that's one of the things I'm really picking up with Kevin Conroy in his performance, and I'm really liking, of course, as someone who's not like intimately familiar with it, is the fact that he'll have like these really, really subtle bits of humor, like these quick bits of humor.
That's what I'm saying. It's so basically what's going on. Just to give a little bit of context. And Nostromos we're at the big dinner, the big kind of celebration of Nostromos here, and he's showing off. Basically, he's firing into the whole astral BS of it all, just saying, "Oh, the stars are aligning."
I mean, it's like this is one of my big problems with this episode, Dragon. Who in their right mind would buy what this guy is selling?
Also, it always occurs to me, Bruce is like the only one with water in that room.
I mean, like, I've studied, like, actual cults, right? Like, like the, like, Jonestown and stuff like that. And there is legit, like, as scary as it is, there's legit reason why people followed those cult leaders. And this guy is just having none of this. This guy is just spouted nonsense. It's none of the nuance of what a true cult leader villain should be.
Well, we get into the cult stuff a little later. Because right now he's a cheesy psychic. Then we get into the cult stuff with the brotherhood of it all. So let's just put a pin in there.
The brotherhood stuff is arguably even worse.
That's what I'm getting at. We'll get there. I'm just saying, let's save it for all the brotherhood stuff. That's when it gets really. Anyway, so let's see. Bruce here again. I like that Bruce is he's mocking. Yeah, it's kind of playing the funny kind of like the himbo of it all up here in terms there's Bruce. It's kind of some great kind of sardonic Bruce Wayne lines as Nostromus is hamming it up, and he's hamming it up to shut up Bruce and kind of get him like wigged out and hopefully kind of pull one over on Bruce Wayne, which obviously it's not going to work. He basically shatters the glass with like the psychic vibrations, which does lead to the best line in the episode, which we're getting to shortly.
Okay.
So the point is, he targets Bruce Wayne as like he's targeted next with that glass breaking. But again, so just Bruce Wayne. It seems like Bruce Wayne's making his jokes, and now he's targeted.
Okay,
but
and this is like I just want to like the plot of this. I don't know, Dragon. This is going to be.
To be fair, Bruce was targeted just because he was there. Like he was invited, so Bruce Wayne's like the head honcho in Gotham. So he was singled out before the mocking joke. So
okay.
So we have Batman in the cave. So Batman's in the cave.
Just to give some positivity, I like all the bats flying around the Batcave. That's all.
Yes. Yeah, we have a really good shot. I'm so glad you brought that. We have that great shot where the bats are flying.
Like I said, I'm like scrounging for some positivity here.
Because that great shot of just such. Oh, out of context, it's such a fantastic. Bruce is there in the suit looking outside, and we hear what's so cool, Tiki. For the most part, in the entire DC. The entire DCAU, from what I remember, the idea, at least in the animated series, what they always try to do is have no music playing when you're in the cave at first, because you could have the bats flying and you just hear the bats and be kind of this creepy kind of gothic mystique you'd have there. And we have that here when the bats fly up and then Alfred walks in the scene. Alfred's asking, "How do you suppose the glass broke, sir?" And then we have this hilarious delivery by Conroy. Now as Bruce Wayne as Batman saying, "Psych," the most sarcastic Batman. It's hysterical. Psychic vibrations, Alfred.
You know what? I'd like to think that Kevin Conroy knew how bad the script was.
Like this, I would like to think this is the only time, because Conroy sold on the series after On Leather Wings. He and Mark Hamill were like geeking out over On Leather Wings, the very first episode. So I'd like to think this is the one where he's like, okay, now this is the show I was expecting to make in the first one.
Right.
Basically, kind of the Super Friends version. I think it was kind of like the interchangeable kind of Filmation Batman here. Okay, let's see. So let's see. We got. We have a really smooth kind of bit here. Basically, Batman mentions that Bruce Wayne at the party he lifted Nostromus's prince.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. Again, good Bruce Wayne doing stuff that helps Batman out later on. I love when they do that. Let's see. So we revealed that he basically ran the prince, and he found out that Nostromus is actually a con man, Carl Fowler, who's an actor. An actor, and like the only thing he's done is petty larceny. So this guy is not even like compared to all the other great villains we've had in Batman.
I know that's one of the other things that was kind of like, wow, this is kind of a weak sauce background, don't you think?
Because I was reminded when I was rewatching. Obviously,
you know what it is. You know what it is. It's totally weak sauce, like Diet Coke Mysterio. That's exactly what it is.
Oh my God, you're right.
Did I just blow your mind with that?
You did, because everyone goes to this comparison. Everyone goes to his knockoff Doctor Strange because of because basically Doctor Strange wears it in the comics for the longest time. He wore kind of like an outfit like this, but it was blue instead of purple. And of course, he got more interesting. There are interesting kind of stylistic takes on Doctor Strange. I'm just saying, bottom line, he wore like a blue robe on stuff, and he had the gloves. And the point is, people kind of say it's very Shuggle meets Doctor Strange, and it's like it's a really knockoff version. But oh my God, you're right, it is knockoff Mysterio. It's like the diet. It's double diet Mysterio. That's what
it's like Diet Shasta.
Oh my God! No, you know what it is? It's like when you go to a grocery store and they have I'm thinking of the Albert Brooks movie Mother, but I'm not gonna.
Oh God, I hope it's not the Darren Aronofsky movie Mother.
No, but seriously, I've mentioned this before. You really have to watch that movie. It's really good.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is just like they play with the brand of this whole, it's like that realistic deal. When you ever go to the grocery store, you have like the knockoff of like a main brand. It's like this is like the store brand of like so you go to Weiss or like you go to Mars or you go.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about with Shasta. Yeah,
right. Well, I'm saying the actual stuff is like named after the store. It's like that's the most like, hey, we're literally ripping something off and saying it's ours.
I'm pretty sure Safeway has like doctor something like I don't. Anyways, we're getting off track.
Anyway, yes. Anyway, Sorry, just trying to not get bored on this one, folks. Sorry. So let's see. So, yes, of course, his assistant Lucas, who was making Gate, as we already went through, he was the effects man. So eventually, together, these guys, not even one guy's Mysterio. Together, they're Mysterio.
Right.
So eventually, these guys are frauds. They're a tag team of frauds in a way, and they have ties to show business, but no major criminal record, which is why these guys kind of slipped under the radar. So just really most uninteresting Batman villains ever.
Okay.
So let's see. Bruce Wayne is walking in the Wayne Enterprises, and this is a cool concept for some of Bruce Wayne.
This is a cool concept with some really, really, really bad logic.
Yeah, a part of me really wanted to see him just kind of actually survive. We'll get there one second. The point is, Bruce, he walks into Wayne Enterprises, takes his private elevator. I love that Bruce has a private elevator, by the way. That's nice. He walks here, says hi to the guard. The guard mentions, "Oh yes, Mr. Wayne, there's your private elevator. The maintenance guy just fixed it." Of course, is a bad omen for us, the audience.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. Bruce goes in there. His elevator has obviously been. Here's the thing. This is so ridiculous. They could have easily just said, okay, we the audience can put it together that, okay, the guy sabotaged it, but no, we have to have Batman chase the guy, so he has not sabotaged it, but the maintenance man went up there so he could sabotage it now. So basically it looks like he's sabotaging it again. Which is just, it's like, literally throws a wrench in it. Like, we literally couldn't thought of any other way for him to, to sabotage the thing in advance, be clever. Anyway, the point is that Bruce, he goes up in the elevator. They get Lucas. He throws a wrench in the elevator as he's going up, and it gears up. The rest of the gears and everything. So this spells trouble for Bruce Wayne. And then again, the speed things up. He pours acid on the ropes. Again, this guy's like It's such an overkill of sabotagery, right?
Yeah.
Like 3 times he sabotaged this thing.
Hey man, he wants to get the job done.
So 2 things I want to highlight. One, I think it would have been cooler. I know it would have been a buy like in the MythBusters generation. This would have been easily mocked, I guess. But I would have loved to see if Bruce Wayne could. If anyone could pull this off, I'd imagine Bruce Wayne could pull off the whole jump at the very last second so you avoid getting killed in the elevator.
Right.
That would have been awesome to me. And if I can buy that in any fictional context, Batman would be able to do that. But either way, though, it is cool how while it's going down, Batman he uses the grappling gun to get out of there. Basically, it's like she changes in the elevator and he gets up there.
So what does that just imply that he always has his Batman suit under his Bruce Wayne outfit?
Yes, but you do see a lot of the time. Like I can't remember if he walked in with the briefcase or not, because you get to see in the later episodes he wears everything but the cape and cowl and the belt.
Okay.
Underneath. It's basically he just wears the bodysuit, and he would just wear the put on the belt and the cape and cowl in his briefcase. He hides in the briefcase usually.
All right, that was not my logic leap. We'll get to my logic leap soon enough.
Yeah, either way, I'm just saying it's a cool entrance of Batman, though. I think cool bad entrance, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I do on its own. I like the idea of Batman stuck in an elevator that's malfunctioning. That's a good standalone set piece.
Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, so then Batman enters, and there's the fray as the elevator falls. Crash. Batman pursues the saboteur. We have the classic Batman gag where he heads him off. He heads off the saboteur.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lucas here, he grabs a pipe just off the wall and he hits Batman. I'm thinking, come on, really, Batman? Yeah, I know Batman has to take his hits. I get that. It makes him human.
No, but I was feeling the same way. This guy's taking some really cheap shots at Batman, and Batman's just kind of falling for it.
Because Batman going up against an Invisible Man, that I buy.
Right.
This, come on, it's just. That
Invisible Man episode was better than it had any right to be, seriously.
I know, right?
Anyways.
Ventrix is cool, man. Anyway, so then he throws a batarang to the leg. I like how he just kind of gets jammed in the back of the leg like that. That's kind of just highlighting the kind of celebrating the light amongst the darkness of this episode. Just batarang to the leg. That's kind of cool. So then he throws acid, basically makes...
He really likes his acid.
Yeah, he does. Let's see, we get some great... we get some great cape usage and posing.
Mm.
And eventually the guy gets away.
All right, so then we have some clunky exposition yet again. Yay,
as Lucas is mending
exposition.
his leg wound.
Right.
He assures.
Here's the logic problem. Okay, so apparently the press saw Bruce Wayne get out of the elevator.
Yeah, that's. Well, I thought it was they saw the elevator crash and then Bruce Wayne was still alive after he got on the elevator.
No, because the way that it was worded is that they specifically saw Bruce Wayne like walk away from the crash. At least that's how I heard it. I mean, I could be wrong, but you see the problem there. If that's the case, it's like they wouldn't be seeing Bruce Wayne get out of the elevator. They'd be seeing Batman get out of the elevator.
No, it was in the elevator shaft. Tiki. No one can see what's going on inside the elevator shaft, so there'd be no way to put in the whole Batman Bruce Wayne of that together. But
you know what? Maybe I was just so bored with this episode that I was just coming up with plot holes. Just okay. Anyway,
yeah. So I'm just pretty sure it's like they saw. Oh my God, the elevator crashed. Our CEO is dead. Oh no!
Oh no! Wait, never mind. He's right there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just, hey guys, what's everyone doing? That's what I imagined. Anyway, let's see. So back to the point is, in she's like, you're in the show. Oh, Bruce Wayne's dead. No problem, man. Got the elevator. Says, oh, you idiot. He's alive. They said he walked away scot-free. Anyways, he's starting to berate Lucas. Anyway, so then he says, Nostromo's basically kind of spinning it that, death wasn't, his death wasn't necessary, but it would have, but if he did die, it would have, had the Brotherhood exactly where we wanted, basically wigged out by the death of Bruce Wayne. Oh my God, yeah, we got to trust Nostromo implicitly because he spelled doom for that guy.
Of course.
Let's see. So then we have
Ethan's calling about a miracle with Bruce Wayne.
Now this is the point where Bruce Wayne is where they overplay with the Bruce Wayne stuff. I like this point on was like, oh, come on.
From this point on, where the episode is just like outside of like one semi-cool fight scene, the episode is trash.
I know, right?
Completely trash.
I'm thinking I are completely simpatico on this. Anyway, so we have this pitiful shot too, like the split screen. God, I can't. Tegan, this is the image that's burned in my mind from this episode. I tell you, just like the split screen with Bruce Wayne looking all. Here's the thing. See, here's the problem is that I respect. A part of me respects what they're going for, but I love
Batman. Like Batman going undercover in a cult should be a really cool storyline.
See, here's the thing, too. It's like it's kind of funny because Bruce Wayne is hamming this up, and we, the audience, know that, but I feel the fact that he has to look so foolish to everyone else, that's the thing that kind of gets me. It's like, again, Bruce Wayne being so clever, he's hamming it up. That's, again, it's feeding into the stuff we've liked with the ironic portrayal of Bruce Wayne. But then the fact there's no reason he shouldn't loop in the girl on his plan, because she's on his side. There's no reason he shouldn't loop in Lisa to this plan. So basically, Bruce is hamming it up with his apology. Oh, Nostromos, I've seen the light.
God.
Bruce has seen the light, so we can join the Brotherhood. So he's getting it in there. Let's see. So then Lisa, basically, they're having their scene together, like, oh, welcome Bruce into the fold. Lisa calls the three guys out on Nostromos BS. They will all believe. They will all believe after the great fall. Again, the great fall.
Oh, apparently. God.
Now, here's the thing, T. If you had
I don't know how I'm even going to get through this episode. There's so much.
Tiki, if you had a prediction called the Great Fall, wouldn't you assume that guy's a villain? If he has after our big event, the Great Fall, wouldn't you suspect you're working for a villain?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Anyway, so let's see. So then we have exposition drive as Clark is.
This whole anti-upper class thing, this whole anti-upper class thing is really making me appreciate Dark Knight Rises more. I've got to tell you, Dragon, that movie does it a million times better.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
So it's basically we have exposition drive here where Clark is telling Bruce on the drive to, I guess, meet Nostromos, because I think the thing that happened before, she overheard this conversation on the phone about Bruce and the Great Fall. So basically on the way, I love Bruce kind of squeezing this little car, by the way. Bruce is basically it's about how Nostromos has predicted an economic collapse, quote unquote, the fall. And they've set up, and this to me, this is embarrassing here. This Nostromus has set up a super. He's convinced the rich people to set up a super fund with Nostromus.
God.
So let me take you. Let me point out the big problem. I'm gonna give my minis. I'm gonna take. It's not a soapbox. It's like a step. I have like a little wooden step. I'm gonna take a step.
Okay.
Over. So let me just point out the big flaw of this episode. So you mean to tell me none of these wealthy, a lot of them probably Wall Street businessmen, none of them are smart enough.
You don't get to that position in life by being dumb. That's all I'm saying.
The idea is like, well, Bruce Wayne, of course, he has so many other skill sets. The idea, at least one of those skill sets, is smart businessman. So all of these other guys who actually have dedicated their lives to solely be good businessmen, essentially be their own. I guess I'm thinking of that great De Niro Madoff movie they had, Wizard of Lies. That's where I was kind of in the vibe while I was watching this. Like, again, all these guys who kind of reach that Wizard of Lies kind of standpoint. These guys are really smart, businessmen. These wealthy businessmen are not smart enough to smell a scheme like such a Ponzi scheme like this. Small scheme. I mean, I know we had Madoff, and the reason I'm pointing to the Wizard of Lies as well, because the whole point of that movie is he could convince all these other smart businessmen to invest in essentially this scheme.
Well, I mean, Wolf of Wall Street was kind of a similar idea.
Well, sure. I'm looking to the real world example. I mean, again, they're both kind of
Wolf of Wall Street is a real world example.
That's what I'm sorry. I was just as I was saying that. But I get your point. My point is just, there are real world examples of this true. But I know we had Madoff and Wolf of Wall Street, but, just all this done via a psychic telling you this. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. It almost seems like it'd be easier for this guy to just be a Jordan Belford. You know what I mean? Just cut out the middleman of the psychic and just be just a really, really good businessman. I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? You see how no one stopped to see, hey, we're really smart businessmen. Again, being manipulated by a Madoff type, that's one thing. Being manipulated by a psychic because a psychic had a premonition you're gonna give him millions of dollars.
Yep.
What?
It's pretty bad.
Yep. Oh God. So God, it's ridiculous.
Okay, I have a positive.
What do you got?
I really like his lair, and I like the giant planet thing.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah,
it's a decent set piece.
Oh yes, but there's one thing I forgot to mention.
Oh no.
Clark makes the point to Bruce because Bruce asking the smart follow-up question.
Yeah! Oh God, this is great.
So Bruce asked the smart follow-up question. Well, so he has all that money at his disposal. Then he says, "Oh no, he doesn't. He can only touch it with my written approval." The minute he says that line, Tiki, I think it's telegraphed what's going to happen, right?
Right.
So, only with my written approval can he.
Everything has to be above board. He made a specific point of that.
Jesus. So next thing, now we have the planetarium setting, which it's a cool visual look. I mean, if you're gonna do if they need a psychic, really kind of a psychic cult guy, but
that's what I'm saying. I'll give credit where credit's due. All right.
It's like in another script. This might be a lot better. The idea if you actually had a psychic who actually had a cult following because he was an actual psychic instead of this whole financial meets the psychic thing, which is like oil and water.
Oh God. Okay, so Lisa's kind of sneaking around the planetarium. Nostromus is giving a fucking ridiculous speech, which, again, why are any of these people buying it?
Yeah, we see visuals of Lucas is working the effects here, and it's very obviously effects. He's just working visuals of looting and crime in Gotham. And again, with an actual cult, we could make this work, but we're not doing that this episode. Nostromus is he's floating.
Levitating.
Yeah, he's levitating. He has this hook on the back of his
basically
getup.
Like a Universal Studios theme park effect.
Essentially. And basically he urges the transfer by tomorrow. Basically, hey, transfer all your funds by tomorrow. Ooh, because the stars will be in alignment. Folks, I'm not making that up. I'm not summarizing. I'm saying this because the stars.
I watched it. Oh man, this is
so. Yeah, so Lisa's captured by
here, Dragon. I think Batman and Harley Quinn has more respect than this does.
Again, it's like believe me. Out of these two, I'm going to go Batman and Harley Quinn. Believe me, I will.
Yeah.
I will. Because at least again, that I have there's a lot more going for that. Just has like two really big moments that derail the whole thing. But aside from
this
that,
is like this has a couple decent moments, and then the whole thing is like one giant derail.
This is like, hey, look at that train wreck, but hey, they serve cotton candy afterwards. That's essentially what this episode is. It's train wreck with cotton candy.
Oh man.
So let's see. So Lisa is captured by Lucas. God, no, I'm sorry. I think I glazed over the brotherhood thing. Did you want any rants you want to make about the whole?
Oh, I don't care. Let's just get through this.
All right, yeah, sure. So basically, then Lisa's captured by Lucas as she's snooping around. The Great Fall has begun.
Oh man. Okay.
Alfred. So basically, after this little show here, and importantly, Lisa's been captured. Alfred, we're at the cave. And I love these sorts of scenes, by the way. Another positive, one of the rare positives. I love this, and these are like kind of a regular scene we'll have there. I love seeing Batman gear up in the Batcave, and of course having a little conversation with Alfred while he was doing that. Alfred's questioning, "You gave them $10 million, sir?"
God.
I had to make him
keep up appearances.
Exactly. So let's see. So again, I love Batman gearing up, and Batman points out there's over 300 million in the fund so far with that 10 million. Batman expects Clark to go through. Basically, Batman has like a line that ends the scene saying, "Oh, I expect Mr. Clark to go through a spiritual crisis all of a sudden," which basically, okay, obviously the setup's going to now there's 300 million. He's going to make sure Clark signs over the money to him, which is, again, is a very smart deduction, very obvious deduction, but a smart one. He's going to sign over the money, bum, bum, bum. Meanwhile, Nostromus is gloating to Lucas.
He has a really, really, really fucking weird analogy. We're going to be rich as pigs. Rich as pigs? What?
He says rich as pigs?
Yes!
So said, oh, God, you're right. That is weird.
Isn't it? It's so out of nowhere. I've never heard that analogy before.
See, here's the average analogy. What they meant, but again, I don't want to just blame this on Sean. I want to be fair. I'm not blaming this on Sean, Catherine, Derek, but it feels a little like Sean, Catherine, Derek. It feels like there was like a smarter draft of this where we'll be filthy, stinking rich, and hey, we'll be rich as pigs.
Oh God.
Or like, hey, we'll be rolling in it. Like,
I'm gonna spice up the wordplay. Whoa.
We're expecting that anyway. So we have Nostromus. He was like in his robe and he's bald, and he's like, I love that he has the toupee on the side. That's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous, but it's funny. So then they have a surprise visit from Clark. They have the wig gag where he puts.
I love how Nostromus just like casually levitates when Clark shows up.
Yeah, because he has him hook him up. Basically, has Lucas like hook him up to the thing, like put on the toupee, puts it on sideways. It's like, so he's trying to levitate for effect. And he says, "Oh, Nostromus, there's no sign of Lisa. I'm terribly worried about her. Of course, she's been captured. She is fine. I can feel it. She is fine." Let's see. So then he points out, "Hey, the fund is in jeopardy. I have a prediction, a premonition. The fund is in jeopardy. We must convert it to." And this is literally. I'm not making this.
No, I know you're not. You don't have to keep telling me you're not making it up. I know.
I'm sorry. I feel necessary to reiterate to the audience because I feel like it's kind of it's beyond belief with this show. It's. Compared to all the great episodes of this show, I have to explain this that. No one called Clark is such an idiot. He doesn't call this line into question where he says we must the fund is in jeopardy. We must convert it to gold bullion at once. Let me reiterate: gold bullion at once. We need to turn our cash into unnecessary solid gold bricks, essentially gold bullion. Just there's no follow-up. Like there's a brief like why. You don't really question that beyond like why gold bullion? Why would you transfer the funds? Could you twirl your mustache any further? Oh yeah, anyway. He says he says, "Oh, I must notify the brothers. The brotherhood. I must notify them." Says, "No, there's no time." Also, there are women in the group, by the way, so we just call them brothers. It's all like the brotherhood.
Yeah, sure, why not? I don't want to question the logistics.
Anyway, so he says, or else there is a bad moon rising, and this is where the plan just keeps getting worse, folks. It just keeps getting worse. So this guy is just so greedy; he can't wait. That's the sad thing. He has
Right.
this Thomas is such a frustratingly stupid villain. He really is. He can't. He has him in the palm of his hand already. There's no need to rush this. These guys are idiots, apparently, and he's rushing things, and he has him where he wants, and then he's just, again, this guy's such a pea-brained idiot. Then he says, there's a bad moon rising, reveal that Lisa is tied to the moon in peril.
Which is basically like, oh, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, it's like,
yes, already.
Short of having a big sign that says, hey, you idiot, look up. Hi, how you doing? Me, bad guy. You stupid for not realizing I'm a bad guy. Look down here in the small abbreviation. Still a bad guy. That's essentially the sign that's popping up right behind the chromosomes.
Yep.
Here's the thing: you still can't put it together. The idiot still can't put two and two together. Stromos, I don't understand what's happening.
Oh,
oh god! Honestly, I'm going to say this is the worst Sean, Kath, and Derek episode. I'm going to easily. I'm pretty sure this. I don't know if this is the last one she did.
Yet you claim there's 2 episodes that are worse than this.
I know she didn't do the other 2. I'm just trying to think
if there's 2 episodes that are worse than this.
I mean, look, this is definitely the worst written. The other ones are just they're bad on. They're definitely least impressive and bad on different levels.
Okay.
Like one, I personally don't like. The other one is just like that one also is bad. So let's see. Anyway, so Nostromus. Oh god. So yeah. So he still can't put 2 and 2 together. This is just.
So we're literally talking like a bad guy has kidnapped your daughter and
she's tied to a fake moon
situation.
Tied to a fake moon. A fake moon.
Oh Christ!
And then this, Tiki, it gets worse.
Oh no!
The Stromos, for some reason, he's planning to blow the place up. Why? Let me put. See, Nostromus, as stupid as this plan is, as stupid as why is he forcing this? He has, again, he's kind of made off him. It's in writing. He once he signs it, he will have, he'll have all access to the money. These idiots signed over their money to him, so he doesn't need to blow him. He doesn't need to kill anyone. That's the only problem I'm going to give Nostromus. But I instantly have to revoke it when I'm realizing he's doing other stupid stuff like this. Where hey, you're going to blow the place up, commit murder. You are petty larceny. Like petty theft is all it's on your record, and you would legally have been granted all this money, and you could have fled to Mexico. Why would you risk killing people?
I hear you.
Stupid. Anyway, so then we have a next bit of this is funny though. This is Batman screwing around with the controls, and Nostromus is flying all over the place. Let's see, and basically he's baiting Lucas to the control room. And then we have, and I hope this is what you're talking about, is the cool fight, right?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And yeah, Bruce Timm isn't crazy about the animation during this climax.
Really?
He's really not happy with the third act. I think he really wants to say he's not happy with the whole episode.
I think the third act in general is a fucking train wreck, but this is like this is like the diamond in the turd, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what it is for me, Tiki? One, I think it might be Bruce Timm he just wants to say the whole episode he doesn't like, but he's just trying to be diplomatic about it. But say, I didn't like this one section of it. Secondly, what I really think it is, I think it's just, I kind of agree with him on this. Like, Batman and planets, it's kind of a weird combination.
It's not necessarily the planets; it's more the lighting that I enjoy.
I know, I'm with you too. I love the lighting; is my favorite part of this. Like we have the black and white lighting. That's one of my favorite bits of the animation in this episode. I'm just saying, like when Batman's punching him through plants, that's kind of a hard part.
Okay, I'll agree with you there. Yeah,
and that's what
thing gets a little ridiculous.
Like I'm pretty sure that's what Bruce Timm's talking about.
Especially when the Earth like crushes Nostromos like the boulder from Indiana Jones.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that's what Bruce Timm's talking about.
Okay, I got that. I can see that.
But yeah, so we basically during this fight, Lucas goes up the controller and he and Batman have their altercation. It's really well lit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Tiki and I kind of. That's the big kind of big compliment we're giving this episode. So then,
it is by far the best thing I can say about the episode. I would say
the one cool thing about the planets, though, it feels like a ridiculous '60s Batman death trap. I'll give it that as well. I love when Nostromo sets the planets in motion.
Okay, you know what? There is one moment when Batman saves Lisa, and then the ring of Saturn. Yeah, the ring of Saturn was basically like a giant like blade that would have like cut through her.
Yeah, would have like decapitated her. I mean that's the cool like '60s Batman.
I hear you. Right, I hear you.
I'll give it that, but just the battling through planets again with Lucas of all Batman villains, with
Lucas. Dragon. I would rather see Batman fight Lucas from the Wizard, the kid with the power glove.
Oh God. Anyway, let's see, or Lucas from Strange.
Oh God.
Lucas from Stranger Things.
Oh God. Okay.
Anyway, so the point is, Batman and Lucas fight turns really ridiculous.
Or Carl Lucas.
Well, oh my God, that would be amazing.
Just had to work that in there.
Anyway, no, but seriously, it's almost over. There's no way there's no way this fight happens. There's no way this would work at all. Right. He knocks him through planets. I mean,
they're paper mache planets, to be fair.
To be fair, I'm just saying. I mean, only Grant Morrison could make this work. Only Grant Morrison's never made the most ridiculous Batman concepts be really awesome.
Sure.
That's like the only guy to get away with this, to be fair, as well. So Batman, essentially, he unlatches the Earth, and basically pulls the Raiders of the Lost Ark on the fleeing Nostromos, capturing him. Batman saves Lisa using the bat knife, which we haven't really seen used prominently since the Poison Ivy episode. He's cut through all the carnivorous plants. Bat knife, yeah. Using the bat knife, the grappling gun. Always good to see that being used. And there's an explosive, I think. Oh right, yeah. We cut to I think we cut to the explosion, and it's like we completely forgot all about it. So again, just completely forgot all about the explosives that we had there. Again, why blow it up? Just that's ridiculous. Then we have a newspaper, spinning newspaper. What is it, Liam?
I don't fucking know.
DA predicts life term in psychic case with like this really.
Sure, let's go with that.
Oh yeah, right. This is ridiculous. Jim Gordon has a photo cameo in this episode. He's in the newspaper arresting this.
Well, you know what? I think you and I can both agree that's probably for the best that Gordon isn't like soiled by an actual on-screen appearance in this episode.
Yes, I love that. I completely forgot about him having a photo cameo. That's why I wanted to get that headline in there. Okay, so then we have this stupid ending where God Clark. I'll tell you this. I know it's like the diehard philosophers think this is the most ridiculous ending, but philosophers.
It really is. It really is.
Philosophers and then your big literature fans, they really hate this ending. So Clark feels foolish, and then of course Bruce. I hate this. Bruce has.
You think that guy might feel a little dumb.
And again, this is I hate how Bruce has to eat crow with him because he had to play along. It's like, oh, why couldn't Bruce just loop in the girl? He has to be so foolish with her. And this isn't like, again, at least Bruce Wayne was kind of cool when he was acting foolish in Batman Begins. He's jumping in the fish tank.
Or hell, I'll even give drunk Bruce from Batman versus Superman. I'll even give that a pass.
I like those shoes. That's funny.
Right.
When he says, you weren't the only one. She says, you weren't the... It just throws Bruce under the bus. You weren't the only one, Dad. Implying it. Hey, Bruce, you do. And he says, hey, guilty as charged. He owns it, at least. Okay, anyway, so then we have the Shakespeare reference. As the Bard once said, the fault is
Bruce just feels the need to just wax poetic for, no reason.
This episode does not... I mean, if you're going to do that, you have to really have an episode that earns that.
That's what I'm saying.
The fault is not in the stars, but it's in ourselves. And I just wrote my notes. Lastly, is underlined. What question mark? What? What does that even mean? Just Bruce. What does that even mean in this? The fault is not in the stars, but in ourselves.
I think if I can interpret, it's basically like calling out all the dumb people who believed in Nostromos' BS. Essentially, I guess.
I guess just.
But it's just so heavy-handed.
Yeah. So wow, this It might. I'll say this. I think it's the dumbest. It quite possibly is the dumbest episode.
I don't even really think we need final thoughts. I think our reactions throughout this podcast kind of speak for themselves.
It's a weak sauce episode. It's paint by numbers. This episode is the most paint by numbers episode you could have for a Saturday morning.
All right, but on to greener and brighter pastures, Dragon. What's coming up next?
My Bill Dozier Batman look here. Lucius Fox attacked. Bruce Wayne framed. An actor with a clay face? Can Batman clear Bruce Wayne's name? Will he uncover Roland Daggett's plot? Does Lon Chaney Sr. need to change his name?
Oh, God.
Find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next installment of the Animated Batcave with Feet of Clay, Part 1. I'm James Gordon.